great issue in our country. Child abuse is the physical, sexual, emotional mistreatment or neglect of a child. In the United States, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Department of Children and Families define child maltreatment as any sort of act or series of acts of commission or omission by a parent or other caregiver that result in harm, potential for harm, or threat of the harm to a child. Child abuse can occur in a child's home, out of their home, or in the organization, schools, or communities the child interacts with. There are 4 major categories of child abuse, although they may not be defined in the community publicly. They are neglect, physical abuse, psychological or emotional abuse, and or child sexual abuse. The physical effects of child abuse. Children who are physically abused are likely to receive bone fractures, particularly rib fractures, and may have a higher risk of developing cancer. Children who experience child abuse and neglect are 59% more likely to be arrested as juveniles, 28% more likely to be arrested as adults, and 30% more likely to commit violent crime.
Any kind of abuse is despicable, but especially abuse to those who cannot defend themselves, such as kids. I think it's disgusting. I abhor it. There you go. You can look for signs in whether kids are, their moods change or the quality of their work changes, and you can try to talk to them. That's all you can really do. And if you find out something, you have to ultimately report it to the relevant authorities. Because it comes from their own terrible deficiencies in their personalities. Often it comes from their experiences as kids. Sometimes it's almost hereditary. It happened to them, so they do what was done unto them, unfortunately. Also, alcohol problems can cause parents to react in more violent ways than they usually would. Drug problems also. Pressures with finances, but none of those things are excuses. They're just weaknesses in the character of the adult. If an adult abuses a kid, it's a sign of weakness in them because they're lashing out at somebody who can't defend themselves. Generally, when people are abusive to others, it's nothing to do with the victim, it's everything to do with the abuser. It's due to their own weaknesses and their own hang-ups from earlier in their lives expressed in a negative form. Generally, those people who have dealt with their issues as children are people who are more likely to be positive when they're grown up. People who haven't dealt with their issues when they're kids, often extrapolate that into their adulthood and then, unfortunately, abuse the people around them, whether it be their kids or their spouse, for instance. I mean, spousal abuse is also a big problem. You certainly hear about that on Guam a lot. So I think one of the #1 reasons police are called is often spousal abuse. So the abuser is the weak one. Always remember that. The abuser is the weak one. There's nothing wrong with the kid. An abuser will always try and tell the one that they're abusing that it's their fault somehow. And the kid or the wife or the husband will even believe that. They'll even believe that because they'll be brainwashed. But they are the weak one. They are the weak one. And when you're an adult, you'll believe that. But unfortunately, sometimes these things aren't reported because it's family. But someone has to be strong enough who finds out, has to be reported, because things can get much worse. It can lead to more than just violence. It can lead to murder in the end. And that happens time and time again. No innocent child deserves to be abused. No innocent child. No one deserves to be abused. So that's what I have to say.
In creating this video, we would like to thank Dr. Bentham for having his kind generosity towards helping us create such a video with the facts, no statistics, and great opinion.